Welcome, wild women. I'm so excited to have you here today in this sensual embodiment ritual where I'm going to guide you to reconnect to the side of yourself, the sensual you, the wild woman within, the version of you that is totally free and expressed in a short little sensual embodiment practice. And I will also teach you one of my favorite exotic floor work dance moves called the hair flip or the hair whip. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, I want to say that I want to celebrate you for being here today, for taking the time to nourish your pleasure, to nourish your sensuality. We live in a very, very, very masculinized world, right? Where there's such a focus on doing that we forget to be. And the thing is, as women, as feminine beings, our power lies in our capacity to feel, our capacity to express, our sacral, our womb space. This is where the magic is. This is where our power is. And that's obviously why the system wants to keep us disconnected, right? So part of our resistance and part of our mission here is to just be the embodiment of pleasure, to just be the embodiment of the feminine, because that is already changing the fabric of this planet, right, of the world. And so it allows you to show up for your work, for your relationship, for your community in a much more nourished, full, expansive, powerful way. So whether you're a woman in business, or you are a woman who works, or a woman who is a mother and who's super busy, whatever your background is, wherever you are, this practice is so powerful. Connecting to your sensuality, to your sacral energy, your sexual energy is something you have access to all the time. Pleasure is your birthright. We're going to be learning how to say yes to pleasure. And yes, I'm just really honoring you, because this is the key to everything, right? When we activate this space, when I see women leave my sacred self-seduction floor work workshops, they are radiating from the inside out, and they can go handle anything that life brings to them because they remember who the fuck they are. That's really what this practice is about. So, enough talking, let's get into it. I invite you to... First, we're going to get into our body. I always start with a little meditation, a little grounding, because the feminine is all about allowing yourself to feel and be present with what is right now. And sensuality comes from being connected to your senses, which happens when you move slowly and allow yourself to feel. So for that, we start with the breath. If it feels good for you, everything here today is, of course, an invitation. Tune into your own body. But if it feels good for you, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath in, out through your mouth. If it feels okay for you, let out a sound. Deep breath in, another one. Deep breath in, letting go of anything you're holding on to today. And continue with your breath and notice if there's any sensation, any tension in your body, welcoming all parts of you today. All of you is welcome. If there's any judgment, if there's any fear, if there's excitement, we don't discriminate. All sensations and all emotions are welcome. Allowing them to be here. And I invite you to slowly allow your body to make circles. Maybe with your chest, maybe with your hips. Allow this natural movement to slowly happen. It often just happens when I'm sitting. I don't even think about it. I just start spiraling. And this is a feminine movement. The feminine is cyclical. And so you can breathe in when you come forward and breathe out when you go back. This is waking up our spine, activating our womb space, waking up our pelvic area, bringing energy and flow to this space. And notice how your womb feels, how your yoni feels when you do this. Is there any sensation opening up? This is totally normal. Yes. Awakening your body. You can move in the other direction if you haven't switched yet. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. And now I invite you to make the circles smaller. And if you can focus just on your hips, try that. Right now you're awakening your sacral energy. You're activating your sensuality, and allow this energy to come up. And maybe it comes up and spirals up into your chest. And if you have a little bit of a hard time making these chest circles, don't worry, this is a little bit more advanced. I teach it in my Sacred Self-Seduction Floorwork class. I break it down for you, but for right now, there's no mistakes. You can't get it wrong. Just do your best. Your best is always good enough. Where you are is always perfect, and you get to also want to grow. So both are amazing. It's being able to hold that paradox. So we've worked on awakening our body, spiralizing, activating our energy. And now we are going to rub our hands together. So rub your hands together. Your hands are an extension of your heart. So feel the heat, feel the warmth, visualize love in your hands. And then slowly begin to touch yourself. Slowly begin to caress yourself. And the less you could even touch yourself, allow it to be so delicate. And go slower than you think. So whatever speed you're going at, take it down a notch. And see how much pleasure is available to you when you move slow. Our society is so afraid of moving slowly. We're afraid we're going to fall behind, and yet so much pleasure and so much beauty resides in these spaces. The spaces in between, the spaces where we really slow down and tune in to what's already here. So caress your body. Let yourself feel and let yourself receive your beautiful touch. Let yourself receive the love you're giving to your body. And let yourself touch parts of your body that maybe haven't received love in a long time. Maybe your feet, your ankles, your back, your kidneys. Your armpits, sending them love. And again, let yourself feel. How good does that feel? Just taking the time to slow down. I feel my whole body waking up with pleasure. And so now I invite you to activate your vagus nerve with some humming. Because of course this practice is the best, most effective, most pleasurable nervous system regulation. There's so many ways to use this practice. So as you're giving yourself this pleasure through your fingertips, allow yourself to express that with your throat chakra. So as if you're eating your favorite chocolate, if you need some inspiration and some help. And then I invite you to say yes to this pleasure. Give yourself permission to experience pleasure. Say, I give myself permission to experience an abundance of pleasure. Notice how that feels in your body to even say that out loud. Yes, yes, yes. I allow myself to experience pleasure. I allow myself to experience joy. I allow myself to embody my sensuality. Keep caressing yourself and tuning in. It's okay if it feels uncomfortable at first. And it's okay if it feels so good and you just don't want to stop. You always can come back here. Saying yes to pleasure. What are you saying yes to? Saying yes to pleasure. Yes to abundance. Yes to my fullest expression. Yes to more truth and authenticity. Yes to dancing freely. Yes to more beauty. Yes to more money. Yes to love. Yes to community. Yes to sisterhood. Yes to friendship. Yes to heart connection. Yes to slowing down. What are you saying yes to? Bring it in. Keep populating it. Bringing it into this space for all of us to feel. And now tune in. What would you have access to if you were always in this state of pleasure? Who is this version of you that you are allowing to feel all of this pleasure? Just know that you right now, this is the sensual you. You are connected to this version of you that is able to feel so much pleasure. So take a moment to thank yourself for all that pleasure you just created. And let it wash over you. You can imagine that gold light just pouring over you and enveloping you. You're dripping in gold. This golden goddess, wild woman. And from this place, let's take this energy and bring it into this little dance move that we're going to do. So that was a practice you can do at any time to just open yourself up and access your sensuality. And for now, for this next move, we're doing the hair flip, the little technique aspect. Now that we're all feeling juicy and open, we opened our heart, we opened our womb, we experienced pleasure, we said yes to pleasure. Now we're going to access our wild women even more. So we're going to open up our hips. This is really great. Hip openers, they help us open up our emotions and help us to feel more. You can do it on a pillow or on the ground. Normally in my classes I do recommend knee pads, but for right now we won't be doing much movement on our knees. We're just going to be sitting like this. So allow yourself to settle into this position. Keep your chest up. And we're going to warm up our neck a little bit so that we don't tear anything, because the move that we're going to be doing, I'll give you a little sneak peek. It looks like so this is a little accent move you could add in a choreography on the pole. I'm a pole dancer, so that's one of my favorite moves. When you don't know what to do, you just do that and it looks super sexy and it feels really empowering. There's just something about it. And so, how do we do this? Let's warm up so we don't hurt our neck. Up and down. Warming up the fascia. Releasing any tension. Side to side. Ear to shoulder. And now we're going to make some big circles slowly. So we're simply warming up. If it feels okay for you to toss your head back, do it slowly. We often don't go there, so it could feel a little sensitive or tender. Then we're going to go in the other direction. Making big circles. Allowing yourself to feel your hair if you have long hair. Feeling it caressing your body. Noticing how good that feels. From here, let's warm up our shoulders a little bit. We are using our chest. We've warmed it up a little bit with the circles. Let's go forward. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. Now, the move. The trick here is that you're going to want to go fast when you go forward and go really slow and let yourself feel and enjoy when you go back. So it looks like this. Fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow. So try it out a few times. Take your time and make sure your neck feels warm. And you're going to want to try the other direction as well. We always want to balance. And the beauty of this move is that it has some power and then some sensuality with the slowness. So it's that's why it's so powerful, because it really combines both. So let's go this the other direction. I have a hard time with the other direction, so it's always good to practice both sides. This way. Fast, slow. Really let your hair caress, or just take your time feeling the slowness in the back. Fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow. And you can really bring your whole body into it. You can make it really small, or you can make it really fast, big. Right? And then you could add your hands and all the moves. We practice touching ourselves, but this is something you can do in your dance, right? Because the more you experience pleasure in your dance, the more beautiful and magnetic it is. But it's obviously for you first, right? We think a lot of the time that sensual dance is to seduce someone else, but the most seductive woman is the woman who seduces herself first, which is why I call my floorwork dance class Sacred Self-Seduction, because it starts with you. That's the magnetism. That's what attracts people to you. That's what it's really about. It's for you first, and it's a bonus for everyone else, okay? So really, if you want to close your eyes and really turn in and feel, I naturally close my eyes because I want to feel, I want to go in and be in my pleasure and in my juice. And that's what is the most beautiful always. You don't have to be the most amazing dancer. As long as you are enjoying yourself and feeling yourself, that's the magic, that's the beauty, right? That's why I always teach getting into your body first, getting into your pleasure first, and then dancing for the other if you choose to give them that energy. But first, it's really for you, right? Even when we're learning technique, it always starts with you first and activating this energy, right? So let's try again. And add, if you come up, you take your time, and depending on the music you're listening to, you play a song and let yourself really feel, and on the accent, on the beat, you go fast, and then let yourself feel. And maybe you take your time here and you make some circles, right? We've been playing a bit around with that today too. So, and then playing with the levels too, so you can come up and do it, and down. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Always remembering it gets to be fun for you. It's all for you. It's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels. And then it ends up looking amazing when it feels good, right? And there's even a practice that I give all my clients called the Shadow Alchemy Dance Practice. And that one is more about the sensation and learning to alchemize it. And that one is really not about it looking good. So there's different ways to use your sensuality, to access it, to play with it for different outcomes, for different alchemy processes. Today is really about pleasure. It's really about you giving yourself permission to experience joy, to experience pleasure, to tap into this wild woman that is within you, this version of you that doesn't care what other people think, that just knows she's so powerful. And that's what creates that confidence to go out there and sell your offers if you're a coach, or, ask your partner for what you want in the bedroom, or set boundaries at work, whatever it is. When you know your power and you know your worth, when you're connected to this energy, you're unstoppable because you know. And there's something when a woman accesses this part, it's like, whew, something happens, okay? This is my favorite thing when I host these workshops in person and I see women walk out of there and they're just like, they're like, I can do anything now. That's the feeling that they all have, because this energy is the most powerful energy in the world, right? It creates new life, it births new life, our sensuality, our sexuality. And of course, sensuality and sexuality are different, but when you're tapping into your sensuality, you are awakening that sexual energy, right? And you get to decide how you use it. You get to give it back to yourself, or you get to create with it. And so our sensuality is also something that can be so subtle and so simple and can just awaken us to more aliveness in our everyday. And it could be very subtle, but just a little bit of sensuality, like doing this practice before you start working, before you start creating content, to just get into this feeling of open-heartedness and joy. It infuses everything with so much beauty and so much power. And so I love doing this with my one-on-one clients that are business owners that want to bring more feminine to their business and more expression. This is part of it, right? And I also share this with all my clients that just want to be in their feminine and just want to be connected to this power, want to be connected to this side of themselves that they know is the key to everything. And they just want to feel good and confident in their bodies, So that's it for your practice for today. I want you to take it all in, to thank yourself for being here, for doing this. And I want you to take that golden light and let it drip all over you and walk through the day with it and tune in. Like, who would you become if you access this part of you every single day? Like, what could you accomplish, right? Just journal about that. Think about that. Feel into that. Because you're unstoppable. When you allow yourself to be connected to your feminine, you are unstoppable. So keep saying yes to your pleasure, keep saying yes to your sensuality, keep leaning in. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I love you, and I hope to see you soon. Okay.